We haven't even started recording the video and I'm already sweating. Maybe I can just say I came back from a run. I think that's believable. Absolutely not. My thermometer says it's 24 degrees of Celsius and 65% humidity, and it says that it's wet. I can definitely agree with that. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to fix a mistake that I did with my Hoya imbricata. It's maybe not necessarily a mistake, but it's also not the best idea that I had. I'm going to show you the plant and what it looks like now. I'm going to tell you a bit of history with this plant. I will explain the current setup and why I don't like it, and then I'm going to go through the new setup, and I'm not sure if it will even work, but we're gonna try because it's gonna be, I think, better than the current one. But before we do all of that, let's hear a word from the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community that helps you explore your creativity and learn new skills with the help of thousands of teachers and classes that you can take. Now, I love to-do lists. Checking off something that you have finished feels amazing, and it's a great way to reflect on your day. But if you're anything like me, you will put some other smaller tasks on that list so they can bury that big important task. We've all done it. Unfortunately, that is not very helpful, but what is helpful is watching the class Productivity Habits That Stick, using time theming by Mike Vardy. In this class, you will learn how to create a simple productivity framework that will help you prioritize things that matter and how to use the right tools to make your workflow as efficient as it can be. So instead of ticking off things from your to-do list and having this feeling that you still did not accomplish much, you will learn how to prioritize your task, and that will have a lasting impact. Another class that I'm interested in taking this month is Airtable for Artists, Organize Your Business and Increase Your Productivity. I actually currently use both Airtable and Trello as platforms that help me keep track of several different things. In fact, you can use Airtable to keep track and organize information that you find very important, like all the Hoya files that you might have. That is why I'm excited to take this class, because I think it can actually help me keep track of all the video ideas that I have. There are no ads in Skillshare, and you can learn wherever you are or pause and continue at a time that is the most convenient for you. I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and first 1,000 of you watching this video that click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of premium membership so you can explore your creativity. Now it's time to go back to the video and fix that Hoya. First, let's see my Hoya imbricata. And, just to prepare you, to give you a heads up, it doesn't look pretty. I mean, the plant looks pretty, but the setup doesn't look pretty. This is the plant and how it looks. We have a vine here, a vine in the back, and a new random vine here. It is in semi-hydro. The reservoir is empty. I would like to say that I emptied the reservoir for the video, but in reality I just didn't water it, which is not something that I recommend. You can see I have a piece of string here. This is a microfiber cloth. It used to be in this cup, and my idea was that this microfiber cloth can wick the water from the reservoir to the moss. There is a piece of this microfiber cloth that is in this moss. I want to say a pole, but I feel it's like a pocket maybe. I don't even know. It's crunchy. And that actually did work for a bit, but the issue with this setup is that this moss will just eat up all the water from the reservoir. And that's not something that I'm a fan of. It means that I have to water this plant oftenly. So, not a great fan of watering over here. I should really water all these plants. I wonder what's new on Netflix. Since I didn't like the current setup, what I decided to do is take this piece of microfiber and pull it out from this plastic cup. And because this plant was in a cover pot, I thought maybe I can put the water inside the cover pot, and then this microfiber will wick that water. And that kinda worked, but over time this moss really just, it wasn't doing the best thing of staying moist. You would have to spray it down, and I'm not a great fan of daily maintenance. So I decided that this just doesn't work for me. Now, semi-hydro has worked great for this plant. There are roots that went down towards the reservoir. I think some of the roots died back now because, well, I haven't been on top of my watering. And we will fix all of that. The plant is still doing great. All the growth points are active, no dieback. So I will repot this plant today. I will show you the new setup. It will not be semi-hydro, it will be organic setup, or a mix of organic and inorganic. And instead of this moss, I will use a piece of balsa wood. The general idea is this, and I'm gonna show you all the components. There are only really two, so it's nothing fancy. I have this long piece of balsa wood, and it's something similar that they use when you buy, for example, rhaphidophorus on a piece of wood. This is something very similar. And what I noticed in my conditions that all the plants that want to shingle will attach to my ivar shelf, which is wooden. They will ignore all the poles, all the stakes, everything, and will just attach to the wood. So I thought maybe this would be a good idea. Also, they will attach to my walls, so that works, I guess. If you want to grow a Hoya on a wall, maybe you can just let imbricata do that. I'm not a big fan of that, so I'm just gonna use this piece of balsa wood. I'm not gonna shorten it because in my experience, Hoya imbricata, if it's liking the conditions, it actually grows quite fast. I'm gonna leave this as is because I do plan to drill a hole here and hang it, and hopefully the pot that I will glue and secure to the bottom part will stay, hopefully. We'll see. This is the pot that I'm gonna use. I'm going to melt holes in it and drill holes here so I can use wire to attach this like that. I will also use hot glue gun just to have some hot glue there. We will repot Hoya in this contraption once this is properly secured. Now, is this the best idea for growing this plant? Probably not. But is it the worst? Well, it actually might be. Anyways, let's start. I'm gonna turn on my second camera and try not to knock over my potting mix. I have some bark here, a bit of lava rock, and some moss in a bag that I used to hit my face with, that I have from my propagations. So I have my soldering iron here on a plate, so we don't melt the plastic. While we wait for that to warm up, I'm just gonna mention that my Hoya imbricata was in this vase. You see there is a big opening on the top, and I don't think this did really much for the humidity. So I don't think that it will have issue growing outside of this vase. There is a bit of nasty algae on the bottom. Let's not look there. We need to clean this. Ideally, we would have done it before the video, but let's keep it real. I think it can grow fairly well in my room conditions. After all, it's 65% humidity. But if that proves to be a challenge, I do have a project coming up that is taking way too long to finish. And when it's done, I will show you that because I intend to put some wire here. I'm gonna melt 4 holes on this pot. Probably should have marked this, but you know, why do it? I think I'm gonna go for the middle here. And then let's use our precision. Okay. Nailed it. We did it. This brown thing is from the plastic that I melted before. Probably melted a cover pot or something like that. I'm now gonna put it against this balsa wood. Let's say that's good enough. That looks not centered. Let's move it a bit over here. Okay, I'm just gonna use my pencil to mark where I need to drill. Honestly, this wood is so soft that I think my IKEA drill is an overkill here. And there are very few instances in life where IKEA drill is an overkill, but here it might be the case. I don't remember when was the last time I charged this. It keeps stopping. And I'm like using last bits of its energy. And I'm gonna drill a final hole somewhere here towards the top. Yeah, I'm gonna do something random. Ideally, you would be more precise than me, but you know, life isn't about being perfect. I'm gonna put hot glue all over this pot, stick it there, and hopefully that will be enough. But in case it's not, we will secure it with wire. And if that's not enough, then tough luck. I don't know if I should be generous with hot glue or conservative. here, a bit here, a bit here. Let's not get too conservative. A bit here, a bit here, a bit here. Let's make sure that we have the holes lined up, which we do not. Okay, I feel that's good enough. I'm gonna press it with my hand. Oh, we did not align the holes. Awesome. Well, I guess we have to redo that. But that's okay, because now we can have satisfaction in peeling off this. You know, life works out. Okay, attempt number 2. Oh, now we're going. See, now we're gonna do a great job. Now we even have a pattern, see? Let's align the holes now. Oh, that's hot. Oh, burn, 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 burn. The holes are more properly lined up, so we can just go ahead and put the wire in. That worked well. Okay. Well, that's solid. I think that will be able to hold my Hoya. 10 out of 10. Honestly, 10 out of 10. Okay, now for the messy part. We need to figure out this Hoya imbricata. As I thought, Hoya imbricata doesn't really make a massive root system. I'm gonna leave these pieces of leca. They are not gonna bother me actually, but I'm gonna unpin this. I tried to pin it down a bit, thought that would help. It didn't, did absolutely nothing. Oh no, unexpected complications. It rooted into this moss. Well, let's hope it didn't root too much. I'm going to go and hydrate the moss. Let's see if we can get this off. Nope, it's still on there. So I guess this wasn't as bad of a setup as I initially thought it was. Okay, we have some roots there actually. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it as is. So this is the Hoya. I'm going to now pot it in my new pot. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Clearly we did not think through some steps here. I'm gonna use a mix that is kinda moss heavy. What I noticed with Hoya imbricata is that it does like to stay moist, but it also needs an airy mix. We have bark to help with that, and I don't know why I used lava rock. Oh gosh. Ah, I need another hand. This is not working out. Yep, that's not how I wanted this to work out. So I think this is how I want to plant it. This is the front. So I'm gonna try to get that in there. Let's get some moss around there. A bit more lava rock, a bit more bark. Really, when I say a bit, clearly I mean a lot. And then the rest of the moss, I'm gonna keep moss on top, I think, because it will help me understand when this needs to be watered. Nothing is packed here. Can we lay it flat without spillage? We kind of can. Okay, I actually found these here for the first time. They were not available, but I managed to find them, and I'm gonna heavily use them because I love that. How are we gonna arrange these vines? I kind of want this small vine to attach itself, so I may even do like a crisscross. I think we need first piece of this, and I think we need another piece here, and I have no idea what I'm gonna do with the rest. I guess I will put one more piece here. Okay, I feel that's good enough. It may not look the best. That's the end of that sentence. I really hope this little piece of vine that we have here attaches. That would be cool because I don't know what to do with it. I'm gonna take this to the bathroom and give it a quick shower, and we will come back. I would like to have some type of a saucer here. I couldn't find something that would match this exquisite piece. I will be on the lookout for something that can be put here, maybe something squarish and blackish, and that will match this. I'm going to put this on my shelf in the back, and it's gonna stay kinda underneath the Mars light, Hopefully this withstands the test of time. I can already see that once you soak it, it gets even softer than it is, if that was even possible. But I hope that Hoya imbricata will like the setup. I will try to spray it more frequently than I'm doing it now, which is never. Just spraying it from time to time would be 100% better work that I'm already doing. And hopefully the roots will be fine in this moss and bark and lava rock mixture. Again, I don't find this Hoya to be difficult to grow for now. I've had it for several months. This was a much larger plant, in fact. I bought one of these plants with my friend. They were very expensive, so we decided to split one plant. But when it arrived to me, most of the cuttings in it were rotten or dry beyond salvation. I tried to salvage all of them, but I couldn't. It's very easy to root. Actually, this small piece was rooted in water, and when I received this plant, it was, I think, only this 2 leaves. So that was in like June, I think, or maybe even July. So all of this is new growth. It grows really fast. So this is the best of the worst. And then my friend has 2 cuttings that they're slightly larger, not much larger. She is growing them, I think one she is growing in a terracotta pot. You can buy cylindrical pots with no holes that you can hang, and then you can put some water in those cylindrical pots on the inside, and then you can grow the plant on the outside. So that's what she's doing. She's growing it on the outside of that terracotta cylinder, I guess. So you put some water inside. It keeps the walls of the terracotta moist, and the plant is kind of mounted on it. So this is kind of in between. This is, it will be mounted on this piece of wood, hopefully. It will attach, and it will be potted here in this small pot. And I don't think I will even ever repot this plant. I don't think it needs that. As you saw, it grows a very shallow root system. I think what will keep this plant alive, if it attaches, is keeping this piece of wood moist and probably fertilizing it by spraying it. I don't think it needs a lot of fertilizer either. It's a wonderful plant. I actually like the way the leaves look when they are flat against something. This one almost got flat, but unfortunately not quite. And I actually now ripped it from that moss pocket, or whatever you want to call it. It's definitely not a moss pole. I never really had any issues except that it arrived in poor condition, but hopefully this setup is something that this plant will appreciate. I will keep you updated how it does. I don't expect to see any flowers soon. You can grow this on a trellis, but then it will make these closed leaves, and I'm not a great fan of those. Those look even ugly to me. I would not grow it on a trellis and have these closed leaves. It's just not something that I want. As I can see, this plant is also very good at branching out. This is all coming from one rooted vine here, and we have like 3 growth points. So that's very good in my opinion. Interesting thing about Hoya imbricata is that it produces only 1 leaf per node. You will never see 2 leaves per node like with the rest of the Hoyas, and it really is charming when it sticks to something. Definitely not a plant for a beginner, I would say, but it's not that difficult either. I was quite afraid of it, but it's not difficult. I managed to get it to grow. It's just getting it to stick to something, I guess. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment down below. What are your thoughts on Hoya imbricata, and do you think that this setup will work? I would also like to know how many of you grow it. What are your setups? Do you have some advice perhaps? I know a lot of people grow it in very high humidity, but in my opinion that may not be necessary. It's done really well during the summer in that vase, which again didn't really provide much more humidity, and the summer is kinda on the dry side here. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, well, let me give you a hint. Subscribe. My Hoya imbricata is draining now on my desk. There is quite a lot of water, so the mix works great. It drains fast, but we will definitely have to find some type of a saucer to glue on there. I will keep you updated is all I can say. Have a great weekend and see you soon. Bye! I would like to take some time to thank my patrons. A big shout out to my $5 patrons. One anonymous patron, Betsy Begonia, Bonnie Harris, Carrie, Danube Daniels, Hoyas and Whatnots, Jessica Hall, Kelsey Jager, Kristen Sherwood, Mars B, Martina, a leaf per day, Melissa Walker, Nicole Ferranti, PJ, Robin L. Jennings, Spinach Geek, Tanya, TJWO, Vicky Dingler, and Zlako Niponi. Also, big thank you to my $3 patrons, Angelina Farnan, April Arroyo, Brianna Phillips, Catherine G, Jerry's Garden, Lisa Helling, Lori Murphy, Morgan Kennedy, Nikki, and Ringlov. And a thank you to my $1 patrons, Caroline, Dinsla Jacinta, Walkyria S. Thank you all so much for your wonderful support. You are amazing. And just thank you so much for sticking by even when the uploading time between two videos gets a bit long. We will talk about all of these things. I hope you're having an awesome day, week, month. We know what the year has been like. Trying to make the best of it, I guess. I will see you soon, and bye!